Bristlecone Pulse event has been very enlightening. So many diverse topics and yet they were all kind of drawn together in a similar theme. What was so different for me in the event was that the topics that came up, the disruptive influences on business, I hadn't kind of considered most of that before. I typically think of supply chain as a very traditional process, but some of the presentations made me think about it in a different way.
There's a concept which I want to bring in called anti-fragile. This is essentially a system which thrives on chaos. It's a system which thrives on chaos, thrives on changes. So fundamentally, every time there's a disruption, every time there's a change, every time there's a shock, the system thrives on it. And what we are trying to do and what we're seeing around is a lot of people and companies and processors saying that, how do we draw this concept into a supply chain world?
Think about your core capabilities. How would you make them self-service? How would you make them elastic? How would you provide SLAs? What would your cost basis be, and would it be competitive in the market? And if you ask yourself those questions about being a platform business, you'll find areas to be a better service provider internally, and you'll find areas for innovation.
How do we improve visibility of the channel? And how do we redefine demand so that we can move demand processes at the speed of business?
It's really balancing that supply out based on working capital limits, but also on service level.
The forefront of digitization, you're thinking of how to align some of these digital initiatives to opportunities to make supply chain more demand-driven and more responsive.
The nimble have more of an advantage over the big because we don't need a highly regimented, structured process to go to market with IoT devices. And the innovation, it can come from anywhere.
We need to focus on business outcomes, right? What's our overall strategy? What are we trying to produce? And so having a purely technology-focused cybersecurity leader becomes problematic because it has to affect what the end results are that we're seeking here.
This Bristlecone Pulse event was a great opportunity to step back from the day-to-day, really think strategically about our digitization journey and what we need to do to increase our digital IQ at the company going forward. I also got an opportunity to network with a lot of peers that are out there in the industry and compare notes about the kinds of problems that they're having and share some insights and some ideas about how they're addressing them.
Bristlecone has done a phenomenal job to bring all these people from different experiences and different industry together. Next year, definitely I'll be here. I think it is very, very nice event and quite insightful. I definitely would like to be part of this.